In Afghanistan,
Yeah,
and it told the life history of he and his family
yeah,
that you got translated at the Crosse library
yeah,
by a knowledgeable translator there.
yeah.
What was her name?
I can't remember. It's been
At
so
the
long ago.
at the Crosse main library
Yeah,
that she translated from Afghanistan Pashtun, I'm assuming, and
it was really interesting.
why was it sent?
It told how his one brother was murdered by I don't know who they were. Their enemy, I guess.
Some other tribal warfare going on.
Yeah, it was terrible.
Family grudge.
But how he got my address, I don't know. I never did find that out.
Were you in the military?
No,
You have any family members that are?
no,
Somebody with a similar name?
no.
We should look up your name on the internet and see if somebody else has the exact same name. David
Yeah, that
Thiessen.
might be.
And
But,
maybe they have a connection. So when was this? A few years ago that this was sent to
It's
you?
been at least 12 years.
Right after the Afghanistan war started?
Yeah.
Our involvement? Right after we got involved in it? Yeah. So you got sent this roll of information that told his family.
For some reason, it disappeared out of my house. Whether my daughter took it or
And
it got thrown away or what, I don't know.
so it was a roll of paper, like a scroll or something?
Toilet paper.
It was toilet paper.
Yeah.
But on the toilet paper was written his family
it was
history.
all printed out. But it was in his language.
So it was sent to you, and it was an actual roll of toilet paper where
Yeah.
it had the family history written in his language, sent from Afghanistan.
Yeah.
And so the other clue we would have is the person that translated it, if she's still around.
Well, I haven't seen her for a long time.
If she's still at the library, maybe she recalls some of the story. And even if you've lost the roll, you can still remember some of the points. Like he talked about his father and grandfather, or
Oh yeah, he talked about all of his whole family.
like what did he say?
He was telling about how his grandfather survived a civilian warfare. I don't know. His grandmother was killed, and his aunt, one of his aunts, were killed, and then for several years they were all right again, and then all of a sudden they had an uprising and they had another battle.
And
But
were these
I don't have no
were
idea.
these like family feuds? Did he say that there was
No,
like
I
a
don't
blood
know.
feud?
That I don't know. He didn't say.
Because they have a blood debt and they have another kind of debt,
Oh,
where if somebody does something wrong to some other family, then they have to give them one of their young girls
yeah.
a blood debt or something like this.
Yeah.
So did he mention anything about the Russians or tribal or?
No. That's one thing he didn't talk about is religion.
It was just about who had died in his family.
Yeah.
Bombings, I'm assuming, or
I don't recall. It's been so long.
well, that's an incredible story,
Yeah.
and
I wish I could find that roll of toilet paper. That was really something. It wasn't the whole roll. It was about halfway. Told about how his one cousin disappeared. They never did find him. Didn't know what happened to him or anything.
so it was a pretty regular thing for death and
Yeah.
stuff be occurring in their families.
Yep.
Well, chances are pretty high that he's passed on, and maybe his whole family.
Oh yeah.
And
Well, he
that
was,
might be the last story that came out of that village. The one
he
that
told me he was 51 years old. I do remember that. He was 51 years old. And of course, you're a year old already before you're born, the way they figure.
right. You're like 9 months old already.
Yeah.
Right.
They figure you're a year old already in the womb.
And a lot of Orientals count their birth date all together on one day of the year.
Yeah.
Well, that's an incredible piece of history you have from Afghanistan.
Yeah, but I can't find that damn roll.
And that occurred like just a year after we invaded Afghanistan?
I don't know.
But it was after the United States got involved.
Yeah. Yeah.
So it was after the invasion that you got this letter telling about his family history.
It must have been he mailed it to somebody else, and I got it, but it had my name on it. But there is somebody up in north of Holman that's got my same name.
Oh, there is.
Yeah.
Another David Thiessen. So, how do you pronounce your last name?
Tyson.
Tyson. So we should check with him, see if he knows any. And we should find the person who translated it.
Yeah.
And see what she remembers of it. She may
I
have.
wish I could find her.
She may have a copy. So, she works at the library, and she was like a translator.
Did, yeah.
She did.
For the life of me, I can't remember her name.
And one of her jobs was as a translator.
Yeah.
So there might be a copy with, if she's still around, that she would have of the whole story.
Yeah, that might be.
Original and translation. That would be a good thing for us to share with the rest of the world, to bring understanding between, especially Afghanistan and the United States, since it's our longest war.